Welcome to the podcast, The Human Way, with me, Kelly Odell. In this episode of the podcast, I'll be giving you my 10 commandments for success in 2017. Every year I publish suggestions for being successful in the new year. Some of them stay the same year after year, and some change. It's important for all of us to stop and reflect from time to time, ideally more often than once a year, on where we are, where we're headed, and how we're going to get there. More importantly, I think we should think about whether our personal ambitions, as well as the visions of our organizations, are focused on creating a better world. Anything else is short-sighted and destructive. I remember as a child going on cross-country vacations in the car with my family. We drove across the USA to various destinations, and my mother was a music teacher, and my sister and I grew up singing. When we were on those long trips, we'd sing the scores of every Broadway musical we knew, as well as just about any other song we could think of. Everything was in 3-part harmony. My mom, my sister, and I would sing, while Dad filled the role of audience. He's actually one of the only people I ever met who truly couldn't sing, but he loved being the audience. Today, 40 years later, I only have vague memories of our destinations. I don't remember much about Disneyland or being seasick on a fishing boat in Oregon. But my memories of singing, laughing, talking, and sometimes fighting in the car on those trips are as vivid as if they happened yesterday. If you've ever heard someone say that the journey is more important than the destination, believe them. I suspect that the milestones in our lives that, as important as they may seem at the moment, will fade with time, but the paths we took to reach those milestones stay with us forever. So enjoy the trip. My first tip for success in 2017 is decide to be happy. It's not magic. Deciding to be happy doesn't automatically make you happy. And being happy can at times involve really hard work. But deciding that you want to be happy and you deserve to be happy is the first step that will lead you to making the necessary decisions and choosing the necessary actions to move you in the right direction. My second advice or tip for success in 2017, after you've done step number 1, forget it. Happiness is not really something you can strive for. It's more of a byproduct than a goal. Happiness is a symptom of a well-lived life, not a goal. Ultimately, happiness is a byproduct of living a life full of meaning and purpose. I personally believe that each of us is free to create our own meaning for our lives, but we're also free to create no meaning at all. Those who find a meaning or a purpose and strive to fulfill that purpose become happier and more fulfilled. To be truly happy, our focus needs to be on something other than ourselves. Tip number 3 for success in 2017, be forgiving. Forgive others, and possibly the hardest thing of all, forgive yourself. Everyone drops the ball. That's just part of life. Forgive and move on. Tip number 4, keep learning. Be curious. Ask more questions and really listen to what people say. Talk to strangers. Read more books. Question your own truths, those strongly held beliefs that guide your behavior. If we stop questioning, we stop growing. Tip number 5, get involved in something outside of work that's voluntary. Your kid's football team, a charity, a church, or a scout troop. Whatever it is, get involved and invest some real time in it. Tip number 6, don't work for money. Work for stimulation and satisfaction. The money will follow. I often speak at high schools, and young people often ask me what I think they should study. And this is a bit of an odd question since I normally have never met these young people before, and I don't know anything about their interests or their talents. I usually just tell them, pick something that you really enjoy. I tell them that if you pick something that you truly enjoy, then you'll be willing to work harder at it. And if you work harder at it, you'll probably become more successful, and in the end, you'll probably even make more money. But all we really need is enough money to get by. And a job that you don't enjoy could never pay enough to make it worth your while to do. Tip number 7. If you find yourself in a bad situation, for example at work or in a relationship, create a plan and take the necessary steps to either improve the situation or to move on to a better place. If you find yourself in a good situation, invest more of yourself into it. Tip number 8. Spend more time with friends and family. Try hard to be really with them when you're with them. This means turning off the TV or your cell phone, as well as turning off whatever problem you have mulling around in your head, at least for just a little while. And don't avoid people you don't like. They'll help you learn an awful lot about yourself. Tip number 9. Work hard. Be wary of easy answers and quick fixes. Creating anything worthwhile, whether it's a painting, a career, a relationship, or just a good life, is really hard work. Tip number 10. Remember, this moment is the only moment you have, and it'll never come back. Make the most of it. The past is the past, and if you're lucky enough to have a future, it will be the result of how you spent the accumulation of all the moments just like this one right now. I hope you get some value out of these 10 commandments for success for 2017, and I wish you all the best. Have a great year.